Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, happy Thursday. My goodness, time is flying. Especially when you have homework to do. And that is due. Oh my goodness. Anybody out there offering to do my homework? Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. Glad we're here together. It shall get done. That's what I'm telling myself. It shall get done. Just a daunting task right now. Or seems like it. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. Glad we're here together. Yes, in this special week, Zambia's independence anniversary week that we keep celebrating and just highlighting the Zambian spirit. And nothing really, I think, comes even close to representing Zambia than resistance. And over the years, through the independence struggle, getting independence and then becoming a big supporter, was already a supporter, but then becoming a huge supporter in the Pan-African movement, supporting liberation movements in Zimbabwe, South Africa, Tanzania, everywhere else. And kudos to President Kaunda, Mama Julius Kamoneka, and so many others, Harry Mwangankumbula, so many that were out there on the forefront. Even when Zambia faced sanctions from the West, they did not give up. They continued to resist and were not swayed and kept the eye on the prize, which was to gain independence and have free African countries. So lots and lots of kudos. Zambia was bombed and so many things happened. You can read about that too in the history. Resilience. And Zambia was a refuge home to people like Nelson Mandela and Robert Mugabe and so many others that needed a safe space where they could organize and go back into their countries. And we know, of course, too, the story of Nelson Mandela, and we will be sharing that today here. What a person, what a human being, and what an example that he set. So we're going to be reading about that amazing human here on Storytime today. And can you imagine all that happened to him, and to still face the people that oppressed and the people that, did all these things to him and say, we're going to sit at the table and talk peace. Well, bigger human, and that's why we're reading about them for sure. Head to Head is coming up today, and this one is 18 linked portraits of people who changed the world. And we're not going to get to go to all 18. We're not going to get into all 9 pairs because of time. Oh my goodness, because of time, we're only going to get a snippet. We might only read one person, in fact. And this one is written by Baptiste CORNABAS, illustrated by ANTOINE, and we're reading this one with permission of the publishers SCHIFFER Kids. Thank you so much for joining us here on Storytime. I'm excited for this one, and I hope that you are ready too. Please, as always, let us know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you. And we continue to learn about Zambia. So one of the questions I asked, I think, one of the things I've mentioned is Zambia is home. Right at the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe, is home to one of the natural wonders of the world. Do you know what it is? Did you find out? Well, we'll be showing you that here on Storytime today. And it is a fascinating, magical place. And I hope one day you each get a chance to go and see this amazing beauty. Yeah, just stunning, right? It was one of those you get there and you're like, oh, wow, yeah. Whether you think nature created, whether you think it's God, whatever you believe in, like this is a sort of place that really makes you think about just how amazing this world can be. Thank you so much for joining us here on Storytime. And yeah, we're reading Head to Head, coming right up from SCHIFFER Kids, written by Baptiste CORNABAS and illustrated by ANTOINE. Thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime. Please get ready, get comfortable, get cozy, as that story will be coming right up. Thank you so much for joining in. And as it is Independence Week, we continue to celebrate and, of course, send well wishes to all the Zambians out in the diaspora, all peace-loving humans out there, sending you love. And, of course, Zambians there thinking of you this week, and hopefully you're enjoying all the festivities and indeed getting to reflect on all the struggle that we've gone through and what that means for the future and what we can do to make sure that we respect human rights, to make sure that all feel welcome, all are respected and represented in what we do. Thank you so much for joining us here on Storytime. I am so glad that we're here together. And here we go with our proverb for today, and this one comes from the east of Zambia. And if you know Nyanja and Chichewa, those are spoken in the east of Zambia, and of course going into Malawi as well. And I was saying our proverb for today is chaona mwenzako chapita mawa chilipaiwe, and the basic translation for that is your neighbor's misfortune today may be yours tomorrow. So do not look at that person that is going through misfortune today and just turn a blind eye to them, or just turn away and not be able to help. If you're able to help, do what you can to help. And that is the whole point of this, is that we do not turn away. We want to make sure that we're there to help, right? When others are going through whatever they're going through. And hopefully, because you never know, tomorrow it'll be your turn and we will need our community to come together for us as well. So there we go. And it says the Chewa emphasize helping one another in times of need or trouble. The proverb is similar to the English, namely, a friend in need is a friend indeed. The moral message is that it is right to help those who are in need of our help. It could be shortened to such religious ethics as love or help thy neighbor, or do unto others what you want them to do unto you, and so on. And so, yes, those that right up at the bottom was taken from africanmanners.wordpress.com. Thank you for that indeed. And so there we go. We learn every single day. Chaona munzako chapita mawa chilipaiwe. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. I am so glad that we're here together. Let us say hello to those that are here with us this morning, ready to enjoy a wonderful story. Thank you for being here. Good morning to you. How are you doing, Ari and Megan? Thank you for joining in. There are clouds, but the sun is peeking through. Oh my goodness, I love that. I love that. Yes, a very persistent sun today, trying to peek and bring out that light. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I can totally picture that. I hope that you're enjoying a wonderful day, wonderful start to your day. Good to see you here with us. Yes, morning ingredients. Love it, Ari. You know I do. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Yes, you're part of those ingredients that we need here to make Storytime better. You're part of it. Everybody is a part of it. The book is a part of it. And yes, this special week too. Thank you so much for joining in. And you know else who's part of the ingredients of this morning, making it better? Well, it is Pamela Courtney. And of course, Chad, thank you for joining us out in Nakitosh, Louisiana. And you're saying, sending hugs of I will get it done. Yes. Thank you indeed. I know tonight it is just be buckle up, buckle down, just get it all done, and slowly. So thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely love that you're here with us this morning, and yes, it shall be done. Thank you so much. And it is rainy morning out there in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Well, I am glad you're here with us, and I'm glad that we can have story time together. Thank you so much for joining us here on Story Time. We just got out the kids' atlas, and we're looking at a photo of the Victoria Falls. How beautiful. Thank you so much for joining in. Yes, it is, I'm so glad that you're doing that. And here is something for you too. Yes, there is another shot for you. And Zambia is home to the Mosi-otunya Falls, or the smoke that thunders. That is what it is in the Kololo language, the local language around there. It is the Mosi-otunya, the smoke that thunders. And then when, the Europeans came in, they called it Victoria Falls. But the local name for us is Mosi-otunya. So thank you for joining in. And there is that stunning beauty. And you know what? I have something for you too. Let me see if this works out as planned. But I'll be right back after this short break, if we do get it, after this short video, so you can enjoy. Here we go. Let's see how this works. Come on, do not disappoint me. Yay, there we go. I hope you can see that clearly. Not yet. Oh, there we go. There we go. Let me see. Can I do this? All right. 1 second, everybody. And I think we got it. There we go. Yes. All right. So I'm showing this video was made in Zimbabwe. As you know, the Victoria Falls are on the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe. And here you go. I'm just going to share this really quickly. I'm going to go off screen, but I just wanted to share this video and so you can enjoy this stunning marvel. Here we go. Thank you so much for joining in for that. I hope that you were able to enjoy that. That is the magic of the go. All right, there we go. I still have music running on there. But yeah, that is just the magic of the Victoria Falls and that they are the Mosio Tunya, the smoke that thunders. Thank you so much for joining in. Yes, what absolute beauty and all that music. Yes. And in one part in that song, it's making me teary eyed right now because it says in that one song, Ndafunga Kumusha. As that is in Shona, the main language in Zimbabwe, and it's in Shona, and it says Ndafunga Kumusha is like I'm missing home. I'm thinking of home, and yeah, just looking at that, just really takes me there. But yeah, that is the magic of the pose. Thank you so much for joining in. That was stunning. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Yes, the smoke that thunders, and I just love that name too. It's just I think it just really um just describes it in full and in totality, because you can see that mist from miles away. I know 50 kilometers plus, you can see the mist and you can hear the roar, the thunder from a great distance away. You're talking miles, and so it's just it's just amazing to just hear that rumble and then see that mist from a distance. It is indeed the smoke that thunders, and that is one of the natural wonders of the world. It is on the UNESCO heritage site as it's one of the UNESCO heritage sites as well. So yeah, lots to talk about, but we do have a book to read, and at least we want to get into one of those amazing people that we'll be reading about. Thank you so much. I tried to pack in as much as I could. Yes, indeed. And I tried to find a video that really just let the force speak and shine without anybody's voice or without anything like that. So that was one that definitely I thought was just really did some justice, because you cannot do this place justice. You have to be there. You have to go there. I hope that one day you get to visit. Lots of oohs and ahs from Chad watching this. Thank you so much for sharing. Absolutely. Thank you indeed for indulging me this week to just celebrate my home. I know I've been in the US a long time, and this is also just, I have so many roots that I'm planting here too, so much great community, and I love it. But I definitely feel a part of both worlds, and and I'm glad, I'm lucky to have two worlds that I can straddle and just really just be immersed in them and get to enjoy them. And they're not perfect, but hey, the fours, I think, as close to perfection as we can get. Oh, thank you so much for joining in. Yes, indeed. Thank you. All right, here we go with our book for today. We're going to, I'll go into, because this one compares, so you have, each time it's comparing two personalities, in history, whether alive or those that have passed. But this one in particular, they resisted. Two of the people that it compares are Jean Moulin. I don't know how much you know about Jean Moulin, but we won't get into reading about Jean Moulin and his resistance and his life. But we're going to get into the story of Nelson Mandela, our beloved Madiba. We'll be going to read that part about Nelson Mandela. But here we go about they resisted, and this is what it says. One resisted the Vichy regime, the other resisted apartheid. Both Jean Moulin and Nelson Mandela stood firm in the face of danger. In 1910, the Union of South Africa was created as a self-governing nation within the British Empire. Soon after, the racist laws were passed. Black people were excluded from politics and all important occupations. They were also deprived of the right to vote and the freedom of movement. It was in this context that the African National Congress, or ANC, was founded to defend the rights of all Africans. Nelson Mandela joined the party in 1943 and became its vice president in 1952. With the ANC, he led campaigns of civil disobedience by publicly refusing to submit to apartheid laws. Nelson was arrested, sentenced to 9 months in prison, and banned from all meetings. In 1955, Nelson participated in the drafting of the Charter of Freedom, a text that called for equality among all South Africans. After a massacre by the police during a peaceful demonstration, Nelson decided to fight back using weapons. He coordinated acts of sabotage against the government. Between 1961 and 1963, there were 190 ANC attacks, resulting in many countries considering the party a terrorist organization. We've heard that before, haven't we? And yeah, just a lot of times shame on the what is called the mainstream media, because there's just such skewed presentation of issues. But that is another topic. Don't get me started. In 1955, Nelson participated in drafting of the Charter of Freedom, a text that called for equality among all South Africans. After a massacre by the police during a peaceful demonstration, Nelson decided to fight back using weapons. He coordinated acts of sabotage against the government. Between 1961 and 1963, there were 190 ANC attacks, resulting in many countries considering the party a terrorist organization. Nelson was arrested on August 5, 1962, and kept in prison, listen to this, for 27 years. It was only after his release in 1990 that he was able to abolish apartheid laws peacefully. I won't get into the part about Jean Moulin right now, but that's just a bit about Nelson Mandela. And Nelson Mandela refused to obey the racist laws of apartheid. So let's go in here and just read a little bit more about Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela's real first name was Rolihlahla, which means troublemaker in his native Xhosa language. He was born on July 18, 1918 in Mvezo, South Africa, and had 13 brothers and sisters. Rolihlahla was the first member of his family to attend an elementary school. His teacher gave him an English name, Nelson, which was a common custom at the time. South Africa had been a British colony between 1806 and 1910. Although the region acquired some autonomy as a dominion, it remained in the British Empire. At an early age, Nelson became aware of the oppression of Africans who had fewer and fewer rights under colonial white rule. In 1936, Nelson entered the University of Fort Hare to study law. Because of his activism, he was suspended in his second year. He then moved to Johannesburg to escape an arranged marriage. He continued studying law, worked in a law firm, and in 1943 joined the African National Congress. This South African political party sought to defend the interests of the Black majority against the white minority. He married in 1944. In 1948, the fate of Nelson and the country of South Africa were changed forever. That year, the elections were won by the National Party, which enacted racist laws to preserve white supremacy. Under this policy, which became known as apartheid, white and black people were officially separated. Nelson fought against these unfair laws. He was arrested in 1962 and sentenced to prison and hard labor. He became known worldwide as a symbol of struggle for racial equality. On February 2, 1990, after spending 27 years, 6 months, and 6 days in prison, Nelson was released. On that day, he delivered a speech in favor of peace and reconciliation with the country's white minority. Can you imagine that? 27 years, and this person still comes out of prison and says, we're going to talk peace and we're going to talk reconciliation. Amazing. Nelson was released. On that day, he delivered a speech in favor of peace and reconciliation with the country's white minority. Gradually, apartheid laws were abolished because of his actions and the cooperation of South Africa's president at the time, F.W. de Klerk. Both men received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993. On April 27, 1994, first universal elections were held in South Africa, and Nelson Mandela became its first black president. In 1999, he retired from politics and devoted more time to his family. He passed away on December 5, 2013, at the age of 95. And that is the amazing life, just a snippet of the amazing life of Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. Madiba, yes. What a man, what a person. But yeah, that is the story of Nelson Mandela, and there's just so much more. I know that this book just touches on a little bit. We won't go into some of it, but if you're able, I would encourage you to watch Sarafina, the South African movie. It touches on some of these topics of apartheid, and yeah, shame on the world for sitting by and until 1994. Can you imagine that? Apartheid was, the South African government at the time was supported, right, by the West and the rest of the world. It's just, it's shameful. And, African countries like Zambia and Zimbabwe and so many others kept on talking and saying we need to stop this, do something. And but we're glad that that has passed, and we know too that the effects of those laws, the effects of such discrimination is far-reaching. Even now, as we speak today, there's certain things that happen, that still disadvantage, especially the Black and Brown community in South Africa. And of course, too, we know that this is the story here in the US and of course the rest of the world as well. So let us continue to resist like Nelson Mandela. Let us continue to fight. And sometimes, the journey is hard and long, as you can see too from the example of Nelson Mandela. But please don't give up. Please do not give up. Even if it means you speaking up against something that you see, please do. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. I hope that we've been inspired. I hope that, looking into Nelson Mandela today, we dive deeper into these topics. But if you can today, if you have some time, please check out Sarafina if you've not seen it before. Just such a powerful movie. And I want to say too that it is child friendly. So just do check it out. Lots of lessons in there for all of us. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Absolutely love it. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for indulging me too to just share so much that that I feel, and and just like so many emotions right now. But thank you so much for being here with us. And that was our book, Head to Head, 18 linked portraits of people who changed the world. I hope you enjoyed that one. Inspiration is what we seek. And I mentioned too, this week we continue to celebrate books that highlight, like Zambia's character, personalities, and resistance was one of them. And you can read all about it and see how much Zambia was a refuge for the Pan-African movement, for the freedom struggle in Africa. Thank you so much for joining us today. Glad we're here together. And yes, tomorrow we're back Family is everything in Zambia. And we're back with another book. And this time we'll be reading this one. The Relatives Came. Yes, bring your hugs tomorrow because they will be needed. The Relatives Came. Cynthia Ryland and Stephen Gummo. So do join us for that one tomorrow. Thank you for being here with us today, friends. Absolutely appreciate you. Have yourselves a wonderful day. One more time, let us see who was with us enjoying that wonderful story. Thank you for being here. Kathy, thank you. Have a great day. Beautiful selection. Thank you so much. Absolutely appreciate it. Appreciate you. I'm glad you could be here with us. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful time out there in Ohio. Thank you for being here. Love, 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 love your words about fighting for equality all over the world. We must, Pamela Courtney. We must, Chad. We must. We do have a responsibility to do that for our neighbor, for ourselves, and for the generations to come. Thank you so much. Yes, Ari, everybody that is here today, we do have a duty to make sure that this world is indeed a better place for everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on Storytime. And Ari and Megan, thank you as well for joining us out there in Kentucky. Thank you for being here with us on Storytime. Please keep learning, keep exploring. Thank you for joining in Storytime. I will catch you again tomorrow when we are back with more Storytime. This has been Storytime today. Yes, the perfect ingredients all coming together. Big hugs for each and every one of you today. I will see you again tomorrow when we're back with more Storytime. And we did talk about Victoria Falls, but just one more time, there we go. So that was our proverb for today. Chaona mzako chapita mawa chidi paiwe. So that one is coming from the Chichewa or Nyanja, which is spoken in the east of Zambia. Nyanja is also widely spoken in Lusaka, where I'm from. So that is one of the languages I'm fortunate enough to speak. But Nyanja Chichewa proverb, Chaona mzako chapita mawa chidi paiwe. Yes, whatever misfortune others may be going through today, please do not just watch by, do not just sit by, because it could be you next. And we will need that community to rise up for us as well. So please, let's play our part. Let us work together. Let's help in whatever ways that we can. Thank you so much for joining us here on Storytime. Absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. And of course, we leave you with this stunning beauty, the Victoria Falls, the Mosio Tunya, the smoke that thunders. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And yes, big hugs from me. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. You won't just start all the reading. I just can't wait to be hearing. Ooh, story time. Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing.